I'm a weirdo. The only times I play Call of Duty online is when I'm visiting with my brother on split screen, and probably only a handful of times a year. I'm really not a huge fan of hearing 10-year-olds saying they my mom. Besides, to be decent at it, you need to put in a lot of time into it. But I've always enjoyed the campaigns. Since Modern Warfare released in 2019, I've been confused as to what exactly this one is. Is it a remake? Is it a reboot? Is it somehow both? I did play all the original Modern Warfare campaigns, and I still remember iconic levels like All Gleed Up and the now infamous No Russian. So I decided to load up Call of Duty Modern Warfare to see what I've been missing. And after 4 days and consulting a whole graduate class from MIT, I was able to download the correct shit to finally get to play it. Man, this was a pain, no lie. It took me like 2 days. I inserted the disc and let it do its thing. It downloaded over 100 gigabytes worth of stuff. I launched it, I head over to the campaign, and it won't launch. I still didn't have the correct data. I'm not interested in all this multiplayer crap you're trying to sell me. So fed up, I just downloaded all of it, and it took me almost a day later, and I was able to play. Okay, we're in. Let's do this. What the hell is this? Why are the cutscenes terribly choppy? Don't tell me I'm missing another download. Not doing it. I'm a power through. I decided to do some Googling to see if I can fix it, and apparently if you disable the on-demand texture streaming whatever the hell, that's supposed to fix it. I did that and it worked for the gameplay, but the cutscenes were still super choppy as hell. Apparently they go away if you move the game file to an external storage, which I don't have. Man, I just want to play Modern Warfare. What if I find the external storage and that doesn't work? Screw it, I'll just push through. It's only the cutscenes, so who cares? I kinda care because it's a shame. The cutscenes, they look pretty beautiful. It's the best looking cutscenes I think from the 8th generation of consoles. They're so beautiful. I thought this was made for intention for this new generation of PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. That I thought they were just gonna port it easily, but I found out that those games are not even for this new generation of consoles yet. The textures are lifelike. They're the best looking models I've seen during cutscenes. These are like E3 water puddle trailer graphics. They even managed to get hair to look pretty great, which has been a struggle for the whole industry. During gameplay, they're not too shabby neither. There's a blur that creates a more realistic feel, along with the way the camera moves depending on what you're doing. Everything just feels way more authentic. The story is a complete reboot. It's a revision of the 2007 classic, bringing back memorable and fan favorite characters back into the fray. You will play as 3 different characters: SAS Sergeant Kyle Gaz Garrick, former Delta Force Officer Alex, and Urzikstan Rebel Leader Farah Karim. You'll work together alongside Captain John Price to take down the Al-Qatala led by the Wolf and his right-hand man the Butcher. Like in classic Modern Warfare fashion, there are twists and turns along the way similar to a pretty good TV show. There are harsh images like hanging and civilian headshot execution. This one for some reason felt way more realistic than the last ones I've played. Switching between characters is cool. It's a cool way to keep you on your toes. It doesn't affect anything gameplay wise. But from the past games, I know that the character you're using could possibly die, giving you that anything can happen feel. Each level feels different and are actually pretty fun due to how the missions are laid out and what they have you doing. Sneaking around, to marking targets for a missile launch, and the night vision parts were very cool and felt authentic. I think those were my favorite parts, making you feel like a legit task force while taking orders from Price, sneaking in houses and killing fools. Settings are different from each other as well, from the streets of London to a shootout inside of a bar to a chase through houses. None of the missions felt rehashed, and every mission is completely new from the original. Your HUD screen is kept pretty clean without any maps or compasses, although a compass can be toggled, but this keeps the screen from any distractions. Speaking of possible distractions, there are no collectibles or intels to search for, which I kinda like. I always felt that collectibles in a Call of Duty game kinda felt out of place. Intel makes sense, and I guess dog tags do too, but still not having to worry about all that, it's kinda nice. Controls are much tighter than they usually feel during multiplayer. What I mean is that movements are slower and feel more purposeful and calculated. You do forget if you don't play Call of Duty campaigns for a while that's considered to be the king. It feels like you're playing something epic, like a blockbuster movie or something. Shooting is still the best in the business. Each gun feels different even though you're not actually holding it, and they have a nice weight to it. Blasting enemies is as satisfying as anything else out, and the sound design is top notch as well. I like that you don't have to come off the scope view when you run out of ammo to reload. You don't have to completely come out of the scope view. You're still looking down the scope and you just reload, not having you to completely reline up your shot. I felt like that was pretty new. The game also has you making a handful of choices. They're pretty serious, but they really don't have an impact on the overall story. Deciding whether or not to shoot a man in front of his family is always going to be a pretty big deal. And the way they write their bad guys of being these relentless dictator types, and as you get to see all the dastardly actions they do along the way, they never fails to fuel you to track them down and do some damage. Obviously by now we know that the sequel is coming, and the end of the game does set this up nicely, along with some more story in the spec op missions. Although I spent more time downloading the game than actually playing it, this 6 to 8 hour long campaign, depending on your difficulty, reminded me why Infinity Ward and its Modern Warfare games are still king and the best in the business. They are super fun, and they always come with this more epic summer blockbuster feel gameplay. You always feel engulfed in the action, you always feel in the middle of it, and you always feel important, which is obviously important in video games. So I'm confused no longer. This game is tons of fun, and I 100% recommend it to any Call of Duty fan. Don't just stick to the multiplayer. Give campaigns a shot as well. Those are my thoughts on the Call of Duty Modern Warfare campaign, but let me know what you think. Are you on the side of the 2/3 of Call of Duty players who has not even played the campaign? Do you just stick to multiplayer? If you did play it, what'd you think about it? Any and all thoughts, let's talk about it in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, let me know by leaving a like. A share would be greatly appreciated, and a sub even more. Remember, soldier, to always and forever, you do you.